A very good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining. Mr. Sathyanarayan, Dr. Kumbar, my colleagues, dear students and participants. It really gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to this useful webinar. Especially, I'd like to welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Sathyanarayan. And thank you for joining and agreeing to address us, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over the years, he has done amazing, wonderful, and impactful work, which we will be hearing all about. We all know, especially in this profession, LIS profession, we know the great value and importance of reading. Now, since there are few participants from outside Gujarat, I will very briefly talk a little about ADINET. It is a network of over 3,000 libraries and information centers in Gujarat. It caters to all types of libraries: school, college, university, special libraries, public libraries, and even to LI schools. As we know, a network helps to harness the limited resources and collective strength of all the libraries so that the library professionals can continue to play their historic role as society's portal to information. A few years ago, in order to empower and engage our professionals, ADINET has started 6 separate special interest groups for all categories of libraries mentioned earlier. The rationale in creating these SIGs is to provide an extremely useful platform to do collaborative work, to share resources, to address and overcome our challenges. Now, a little about the work which we are doing and have done. The ADINET app has been designed to view the website and to increase access to the outreach programs. A union catalog of books in Gujarat has been prepared and is being updated. It helps us in several ways, especially for providing interlibrary loan services. A directory of over 3,000 libraries and information centers in Gujarat has been prepared and it's being regularly updated. It has about 15 very useful indexes. We conduct training programs, seminars, and workshops. Since the last 2 years after the pandemic, each year we have been conducting 10 to 12 webinars. We regularly publish QCOLIS, which is the current content of over 100 library science journals. Most libraries are not able to subscribe to even one library science journal. Then the ADINET newsletters are prepared and we bring out what we call the e-news digest. Since most libraries are manned by only one professional, they hardly get time to read and keep abreast of the latest developments. So this e-news digest helps a lot. And one of our colleagues, Mr. Saroj Das from the Institute of Plasma Research, prepares these beautiful, informative digests. And if anybody would like to receive it, just send us your name, mobile number, and email ID, and we'll be happy to send it to you. Thank you so much. And now, may I request Dr. Kumbar to please introduce our esteemed speaker.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Madam Barucha, for your continued guidance and support for the professionals in this part of the country, and also readily agreeing to join hands with IIT GN for organizing this webinar for the benefit of professional colleagues within this state and other part of the country. So on behalf of IIT GN and my entire team of colleagues at the library and on behalf of ADINET, I welcome you all for this webinar, and thank you so much for taking out your time on Saturday morning and joining us. We are indeed overwhelmed by your virtual presence and sincerely thank you for the same. And it is indeed a delight to welcome Shri Sathyanarayanan Mundayoor, popularly known as Uncle Musa, on this platform for a talk on joy of reading and reading for reading deprived, a journey of youth library movement in Arunachal Pradesh, which he has led from the front and made a huge impact in that particular state and in the neighboring states. He has traveled the road which many hesitate to take and has been devoting entire his time, almost 5 decades, close to 5 decades, for promoting reading and education in that part of the country. And he has been going around the country and sharing his rich experience to motivate people like us. So I feel very happy and consider it as my proud privilege to introduce Sir Mundayoor to our professionals attending this session today. Sir is a founder coordinator of Lohit Youth Library Network, a people's reading movement in Arunachal Pradesh. It is a model for a non-formal education and community participation that can be replicated in any community in the country. He has initiated several novel literary activities to promote the joy of reading and learning among the first generation learners of the underprivileged tribal communities of Arunachal Pradesh. These have also been promoted using the Arunachal languages, Arunachali languages, most of which do not have a script. Sir did his master's in linguistics from Bombay University, post-MA diploma in adult and continuing education from Delhi University, and journalism from Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Mumbai. After a brief stint in LIC, he joined the Income Tax Department as a revenue officer in 1973. He resigned from his job in 1979 and joined Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari, to become an educational officer of VKV residential schools in Arunachal Pradesh. During his tenure, he was instrumental in building up excellent school libraries and introducing several innovative learning activities in that part of the country. Sir has done extensive research on non-formal education models all over the country. His Swayam program in Italian, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it properly, sir, forgive me for that. Italian, a very remote village in Upper Dibang Valley, was instrumental in initiating reading promotion and literacy among adolescents and adult women. Idu Mishime tribe, a very specific tribe there. And Sir ensured the participation of leading publishing houses like NBT India, CBT, that's the Children Book Trust, Sri Ramakrishna Mutt, Eklavya, Tulika, and Scholastic, and many other publishers, and as well as the children magazines and organizations like AWIC in holding book exhibition in remote villages where no libraries exist and access to reading materials is negligible. The library network enabled Tulika to bring out a children's book on Gandhiji in 5 Arunachal languages to mark the 150th year of Gandhiji's birthday celebration in Arunachal Pradesh. Sir is also the academic advisor of Research Institute of World's Ancient Traditional Cultures and Heritage, Cultural Research Institute of Arunachal Pradesh that supports qualitative learning and research efforts of university students and links the work of academicians to benefit rural communities. And having done so much, Sir has received many awards. So in 2008, he received the Arunachal Pradesh Governor's Silver Medal for meritorious services to the youth. In March 2007, he received the Roll of Honor for the Association of Writers and Illustrators for Children for outstanding reading promotion efforts among Himalayan communities. he has been inducted into the Civil Society Hall of Fame in November 2016 and honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Sri Narayan Guru Cultural Center, Shillong. So he was featured in program Amazing Indians in Times Now in 2012. In 2022, he received 25th Mahavir Awards presented by Bhagwan Mahavir Foundation in Chennai. And in 2020, Sir has been awarded Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian honor by the Indian government for spreading the education in Arunachal Pradesh. And he has quite a few books to his credit. And we at the IIT Gandhinagar are very fortunate to have him spend almost more than a month. And largely he's spending time in the library and interacting with us. And he was very kind enough to conduct quite a few sessions, especially for students on the campus and also kids on the campus. His story reading session was a great hit among the kids who attended the session. And with these few words, yeah, I request Sir to take over and deliver his talk. And we are really touched that you are today agreed to address our librarian committee and motivate us through your work. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Kumbharji. It's indeed a great honor for a person who's working in the rural areas, and that too in a remote eastern end of India, to get such warm recognition, support, and encouragement in such a elite and prestigious institution like IIT Gandhinagar. I am very, very grateful to the entire IIT community, and especially the Dr. Kumbharji and his team members for giving us all support and encouragement all through time. So it's been it's like coming back to one's own family. I have been feeling here. I met him for a day in September, and since then this 1 month has been a very wonderful experience, meeting all our friends in the reading movement. We are all working for one common cause, that is to spread the joy of reading, and so that the reading, not for itself, but it can transform the lives of people. And that's what all it meant for us. And we all have been in fact, we are all sailing in the same boat. So I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. And on behalf of the Lohit Youth Library Network, hand-holding of several NGOs and groups, volunteers, and also on behalf of the people of Arunachal, I thank Dr. Kumbharji and also the ADINET and Madam Bharucha for giving us this platform to talk about one of the most dearest issues affecting our life, how we can spread the joy of reading among our people, both youngsters as well as elders. Start. Yeah. So I thank ADINET for supporting this and making that large number of people are connected to this thought movement, and we are encouraged by that. So I would briefly present before you the challenges what a community like a marginalized language group faces in learning process through a series of examples and presentations from Arunachal Pradesh. But this can be very well extended across India. With material differences could be, but the issues are same. Basically, there are more than 800 odd languages. Sometimes the figure is put as 1600 languages spoken in India by different communities. But out of this, only around 41 languages have been introduced for primary school teaching as per NCERT. So the rest of the communities, when in case of education, definitely are not at par with the others, the 41 groups who claim their mother tongue is this. Now, this creates a lot of invisible hardship, which the system or the government is not able to immediately work out. The challenge before a government, especially a government like India, with so much of diverse issues and problems, is something very, very gigantic. It's a Himalayan effort. So it is just not possible for any government to solve this problem. The only way is we, all of us who are educated, the privileged in the country, who have been benefited by several factors, to share a little bit of our expertise, little bit of our time, and little bit of our knowledge, so that it can be passed on to the less privileged. The whole movement of the Lohit Youth Library movement is based on this. And though it is confined to a small part of Eastern Arunachal, the most of the issues what we face are can be felt across the country with material differences. So I will just come to the how do you do this? Just it's not coming. Oh yeah. So here we have a thing. How we can reach out. This is a scene from a remote village in upper Lohit Valley, a mountainous valley, as you can see, where one of our senior volunteers is working on that reading thing. Now coming to India and Arunachal Pradesh, move this. Yeah, here we have, as you can see, Arunachal is on the extreme eastern end, and we are in the extreme eastern end. This region, the eastern Lohit Valley, which now has been divided into three. Three districts and the adjoining Dibang Valley, through which Dibang River and the Lohit River flow into join the Siang River to form the Brahmaputra. So this is the totally Himalayan area, plus rivers, scattered population. These are some of the areas in which we mainly work. And as you can see, like most other rural marginalized areas, here also we have 26 major tribes, and people have been living in very scattered villages, and complicated by the fact that they speak mutually unintelligible languages. So almost all the time, because then the present Arunachal Pradesh has been part of Assam as NIFA before the British, and later on after independence, they have Assamese as a lingua franca, and subsequently after 80s, when the statehood has been, the union territory has been formed as Arunachal Pradesh, and central government started taking a lot of development activities and change of times, Hindi has become the lingua franca. But from 1970, after 1972, when the statehood the union territory was formed out of the NIFA, English has been the medium of instruction. But as we can really experience in most part of the places where an English medium school works, there is very less of little of exposure to the students or the young people to English, other than in the few hours spent in classroom. Because of the climatic reasons, the school itself runs only half a day. And in the few hours, the exposure to English is a big challenge. And this is very vividly seen that in a National Family Health Survey 2021 reported in May last year, 22, only 5.5% of the women in the age group of 15 to 49 in Arunachal read something once a week. So it's such a thing. Only 5 or less than 6% of that most reading educated community, they can read on. They don't read even 6%. More than 6% people cannot even read once a week. So this is the challenge to reading in the state, and this has also been the challenges in education, as almost all over the country in rural states. One is thinly populated population, then road communication, then lack of infrastructure. Electricity is a big problem, especially in rural and mountainous areas, and shortage of qualified teachers, especially those who speak the mother tongue. Now, when their mother tongue is so different, it's so difficult for the teachers to ensure that what they teach is absorbed by the children. So this is a very big challenge, and it has in a great way adversely affected the education in rural tribal communities all over the country. Then also because of remoteness, there's the absence of reading material. Most of the schools don't have a library, or if at all they're there, the books are not at all made available to the children. And as I said, because of this, the exposure to English is confined to only few hours, and not even in teaching. Very often the teachers use Hindi as a medium of instruction, though English is a medium. So with all these challenges, what in 72, when the state was organized as a union territory, government thought of residential schools, so that in central places the villages children can come and live together. And this went on quite well for quite some time, till around 80s, the TV, and just along with the TV came another main thing, that VCP, video cassette player. This made a tremendous change in the entire lifestyle of the people, because they could get in the remotest area using just a genset, even though electricity is not there. They could run a VCP and see large number of Hindi films in a large way. So in 80s, Hindi made a great progress, great advancement, I would say, in spoken form. So today, over the last 3 decades, Hindi is understood in across the state. Even in the oldest people, elderly, very elderly people can also fairly understand Hindi, and quite some they can speak also. This is the contribution which the VCP and the audiovisual like TV has made to the people. Had it been used for education, as in 72, when the public TV system was started, as visualized by Madam Gandhi and Dr. Sarabhai, perhaps our education in remote areas would have progressed far ahead. But unfortunately, that was not to be. So the schools were left with again a textbook and chalk and a blackboard method. And this went on. The residential, still in spite of that, I would say that residential schools were manned by teachers from outside, though they could not speak the local language. But the staying with the children created a far better atmosphere than many other places they would have got. Unfortunately, in rest of the country, these models have not worked very well. That's what I understand here. But at least in Arunachal, whatever today you see, the officers and administrators all have studied in such residential schools, and they are very deeply grateful to the education then what they got, and the teachers care what they got. So that was there. But with the introduction of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the entire scenario changed. First of all, the government felt that population has so much increased and they are growing, and it is not possible for them to set up so many residential schools as per the demand. So with the introduction of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the residential school system was almost disbanded. Instead of that, they said that every village or nearby village, there will be a school, small schools. And that also saw the emergence of large number of private schools without virtually any guidance or any monitoring or gradation or anything. And the scattering of these schools created very, very serious problem, which could not have been imagined by the government. First of all, the quality of teaching itself suffered. The lack of teachers willing to serve in remote area, that was another problem. Then the urban and the rich could migrate to the towns and get better environment and better learning opportunity, whereas the rural, so the urban, rural, rich, poor divide went on increasing from 2001 to, and this also led to the two major challenges to reading. That is, one is the TV, that so many TV channels started coming. People started spending, the parents started spending so much of time that the children had virtually no opportunity to go to a library and read. Second is that because the school education has suffered, a large number of tuition centers started coming up. Not even tuition center, individual tuition masters, and many of them were of, doubtful credentials. But still, the people wanted that, and they started coming up. This is again a great hardship to the challenge. I mean, to the promotion of quality education and also quality reading. And today, the Niti Aayog 2019 index says that Arunachali is placed on with 24.6%, one of the lowest in the states. And also the ASER report says that 41% of the government schools are having only less than 60 students, which makes it such a difficult thing for them to receive quality education. And 26% of middle school students are attending tuition in Arunachal. And this requires serious thought for us, by us, all educated people, because even today, 71% of the students in Arunachal study in government school, as per the Hindu report of August. So some of us who felt that we cannot be silent observers and we must do something in things. So we gathered together, let's start conducting small book exhibitions, awareness program, so that unreached readers in remote areas can be reached and given them at least some exposure. That's how the movement really started. We started conducting small book exhibitions with getting books from NBT, Children's Book Trust, and which are not very expensive, so that these can be taken to remote areas. And all along the border villages, I'm very happy over the years, from 1998 to till the thing, book exhibitions and reading campaigns have been part of our effort to reach the unreached. And we could even coax the National Book Trust to send a team all the way to Anini, one of the most remotest district headquarters. That was the first time in 2000 a book exhibition, mobile book exhibition was held. Subsequently, NBT did a program, but most of the mobile exhibitions have been held only in the foothills. It is not possible to do it in the mountain regions, but we have been able to coax with, tie up with NGOs. District administration has been a very good support in the foothills of Dibang Valley region and Lohit Valley. Supporting with the use of district administration and the foothill. We also, last 3 years, 2018, 19, 21, we had the pleasure of Ashok Leyland sending one of their buses so that it could go to the villages. So this is a way the hand holding could be mobilized. But we are very happy that for the first time that China border villages like Kaho, then Chaglagam could see a book exhibition for the first time. And this way, in this, I would say that one of the biggest support we could get, the volunteers or the people got, was from the then Education Minister and the present Deputy Chief Minister, Shri Chonamen, who is a very enlightened person, and he has been very interested in this act, supporting the activity, and also the then Deputy Commissioner, Shri Prashant Lokhande. But for their support, the movement would not have been able to reach out to so many places. And that goodwill of the elders or the elite really helps in when we start up something. And we have been always using activities which can create a joy of reading in the mind, like storytelling, then story reading, book readings, recitation. Along with that, number of small contests so that children will get attracted and they will take home some books with them. Instead of giving prizes in other forms, we said whenever we do a program, we will give books as a prize. So that has helped us to reach out books to so many remote areas which otherwise would not have got any books. So this is yes, for the hill people, I would say that we have been able to open a new world together. This is Chaglagam is a China border village, and this is Goiliang. For the first time, a book exhibition was held, and Taflagam is again another China border village. You can see here the China border, this thing, and this is a district headquarters, and this is a district head. So these are the places where population is larger, but in other places population is small. But nevertheless, a book exhibition, and children could have the access to books and see the books, and low price books they could buy and they could take it home. And it had also a good impact on the parents, that books mean something other than the textbooks. So with that, with the environment for reading created, the next, our good fortune was that the AWSC, Association of Writers and Illustrators for Children, offered a children's library. And thanks to the support of the Education Minister, then Education Shri Chaunamenji, and the District Deputy Commissioner Shri Prashant Lokhande, we could start the first library at Teju, the district out. But instead of keeping as a one library, we said that there's no purpose in setting up small library in centrally. We should make the rural villages have mini libraries, which will be managed by the local people themselves instead of a centralized administration. So we have today something like 13 libraries. I'm very, very happy to mention that as we speak today, one little library is getting inaugurated in a small village, Marshalo, in near Rowing Town. Just a few days back, when I was here, I heard that one more little library has got opened in another village, Arango. So this is where the people respond. When people respond, then they own up the thing. And that has been a tradition in India, especially in Northeast. Libraries have been always, institutions have been always managed by the people. Schools in Arunachal had a long history of schools being supported by the village people. The teachers used to be provided shelter. They used to be given vegetables, food, thing. But today we have been, deprived of those qualities, and today we expect government will do everything for us. So I think this will be a model to make the people feel that by hand holding with NGOs, volunteers, individuals, we can make a major contribution, which otherwise the government will not be able to do, nor the schools be able to do. And our very, very thought was that library will not be a place where books are stored up. They should become an action center, a place where children can handle the books, touch the books, read the books, discuss the books. So it's unlike the, I must say, not the silent library that IIT Gandhinagar is or the other public libraries are. Ours, there's a lot of talking, they discuss, they read, then they recite poems and practice among that. So all these activities are thing. So these are some of the libraries, and we have been, our volunteers have been conducting large number of programs. Here, fortunately, as Dr. Kumbarji was mentioning, we had been privileged to conduct some program for the children of IIT Gandhinagar. Here is our volunteer, Bahailu, who is getting training in IIT Gandhinagar Library, conducting some reading programs in the I think IIT library and in the campus. So this is where we can attract a young person who's not exposed to or who is timid about reading, that reading is a wonderful thing to discover oneself. And where the libraries cannot be there, then our motto has been, if readers come to books, books must go to readers. So our team of volunteers have been going around different remote areas, especially. And this is in Himalayan, again a hill area. This is Himalayan, this is Pasighat, another remote, different direction. This, we have also been conducting many other places. I've just shown you random few places. We have also been, as part of that, conducting small skits so that the books become lively and books will connect to the. So we have used lives of many great people and using biographies, skits, and the mother tongue. We have done programs on several little known achievers. For example, Dr. Kurian's life, it was done in Mishmi language of the Arunachal. Then one on Anutai walk, again thing. And then Dr. Kamala Soni, the first lady scientist to study in IIT Gandhinagar. These are some of the very touching one. The children liked it so much. And we hope that in the course of time, they would sometime get inspired by these lives. And here also, we are not only achievers, we also try to sensitize the community through skits on social issues. One of the major issue is the opium addiction in the community. So for which we have been doing small skits in the language. Oh, where is that? Ah. So this was a skit on how the father gets addicted and the problem the children education, the girls' education suffers. And here, this is on George Washington Carver, one of the most inspiring black scientists who can be a model for all such communities. Here is a skit. You can hear. I can hear. Uh-huh. You tell her. Yes. Yes, we do innovative programs in many occasions. This is by Scholastic, One Nation Reading Together. One of our volunteers is telling a story. So this is again a remote area program. As you have seen, most of our volunteers have been girls, but one or two they have been who have been doing very good work uh, to support so that boys also get inspired to become volunteers in the community. We also had the very great privilege of participating in the AWSC conference in Delhi twice, 2010 and 2014. That gave the volunteers also got a lot of opportunity to showcase what they have been trying to do. Yes, as I said, the mother tongue has a very important role to play in promoting reading habit. This is recently our volunteers have developed a rhyme they are teaching. Here is in Yatong, another remote area where we had conducted the training program. You can see that it's the children involvement is very important in such activities, not one-sided. We get the children to participate and get it trained so that once they go back to their homes or thing, they will keep on repeating these poems and stories. Here is another program organized by the district administration. Here the advantage is that the deputy commissioner, a proactive collector, she was personally very interested to sit through the sessions, and that brings motivation to everyone around that this is an important activity, not just children's entertainment. Yeah, I was mentioning about just a library was inaugurated just a few days back. And today another library is getting inaugurated in the same. And this is all possible because there's an existing library there. The volunteers there have motivated the people. And this is how one group can motivate another to, but here's some of our senior volunteers. So they have been playing a major role in bringing out an awareness. Only when the community participates, these experiments will be successful. What is that? Yeah. Here is a program what we recently did, reading theater. Normally one person reads, but when a group of people can read, the story becomes, or the reading becomes much more effective, much more impactful, and much more learning takes place in the thing. So this is called a reading theater, and we have found it's very, very, very useful. Many books, especially the American books, what we get, and in the Tulika's Gachapati Kulapati series is excellent for reading this reading theater. Here's a sample.
This is a book which we like. Why Can't I Fly? By Rita Golden Gentleman, picture by Jake Kent. This is a book from America which we would like to read to you. I can run! I can jump up so high! I can swing! I can hang! I can climb to the sky! What? Somebody tell me, please? Why can't I fly? Wah, wah, wah. Let me see. Let me think. I knew what? Those things on your feet. Those things can't fly. Take them off. Take them off. Then climb up very high. Without things on your feet. I'm sure you will fly. Bye. You did climb on your feet.
Do you know?
She said, I can fly. I can fly. I can fly. Oh no, what a mess. That's no.
We have found also Roald Dahl books quite popular with the Arunachali readers, and the story, theme, and plot. It's very good. And if the teachers can adopt it for read aloud training, and this is it will be a success. Here's one of the teacher trainers, Mr. Bapu Deshmukh from Pondicherry, reading aloud The Enormous Crocodile.
What I would like for my lunch today? No. What? For my lunch today, I would like a nice, juicy little child. I never eat children, only fish. Ha 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 ha! I'll bet If you saw a fat, juicy little child paddling in the water over there, at this very moment, you would gulp him up in one gallop.
No, I wouldn't. Children are too tough and chewy. They're tough and chewy and nasty and bitter. Like Karela.
Tough and chewy? Nasty and bitter? What awful Tommy rot you talk. They are juicy and yummy. They taste so bitter.
So teacher training for such activity is very, very important. So with such lively demonstration, an educator can make much deeper impact on the mind of the teachers. That's what we say. The same reading theater has been done very interestingly in our IIT Gandhinagar thing. Here is the two children presenting a poem by Mary Ann Hoberman. You read to me, I'll read to you.
Something that we like to do, you read to me, I will read to you.
Again.
That's
3 times you
Something
read.
that we like to do, you read to me, I will read to you. You read to me, I will read to you. Thank you.
I must mention here that during the corona, the whole reading movement was under a very big challenge, how to take it ahead. And here the All India Radio Teju, which is our nearest All India radio station, came in a big support. And through a series of Yuvavani programs, our senior most volunteers could keep on sending the message of reading on a large number of occasions, like International Women's Day, Literacy Day, World Book Day, Environment Day. The message that reading makes a difference in our life. Our volunteers were able to do that. In that way, very big contribution has been to the All India Radio Teju. And even recently, they did a program for the named Bal Jagat. Our reader, activists, and volunteers, small children, participated in, and the impact we saw, it was very, very remarkable. The children are so motivated to do reading better. Now, all this can be done only if we are able to bring out generations of volunteers to continue this. As you are already in remote areas, everybody cannot reach everywhere. So you need to have a cadre of volunteers, but fully committed and fully interested in themselves. So a continuous training is a very important part of this. So we have again Mr. and Mrs. Deshmukh from Pondicherry coming and conducting a training program for teacher trainees and senior volunteers. What it makes for reading aloud, what is the importance and how it should be done, what are the techniques to be there. The theoretical foundation, they conducted a 3-day, followed which we conducted for the government school students for more than 2 months, regular daily read aloud training by the BEd trainees and library volunteers. So it was a threefold benefit. The BEd trainees got training in how to handle children and how to read out. The library got daily activities so that readers will be tempted to come to the library, and the children, the government school students, got an assured platform by which they will be able to practice what they cannot learn in the classroom. So this joint effort by a BEd college, the library, and the children, this is something which we found was very rewarding, and all the children from their initial lethargy have got now motivated to a very high level. They come on their own to the evening library. Yeah, I forgot to mention that all these libraries are run by volunteers in the evenings. So that they are free, the students are free, the parents or office goers are free. They can come together, and within the limitations of electricity power supply, we manage to read. Of course, in summer months, it's not much of a winter. Of course, the day becomes dark by 4 o'clock. So we need some sort of support. Sometimes we use the inverter, or sometimes electricity is good. So, but evening is a time everybody is free and they will be motivated to come and read. As I was mentioning volunteers, so we believe that each one can teach many. It doesn't need any agency or anyone. Anyone can contribute in any way, and the impact of the young people is much more than any grown up. The impact what the children benefit from the classroom is much less than what they benefit from the thing. Now, there is a theoretical thing. Obviously, this is supported by the teacher trainees, teacher trainers, and academicians, educationists. And John Holt, one of the greatest authorities on promoting reading habit and learning among children through his Growing Without Schooling, he elaborates it very nicely, saying that children learn better from their own slightly elder brothers and sisters than from a classroom. Now, this is a proof. Our volunteers have been able to go around and they have been able to conduct programs, and the children connect it very nicely with their own brothers and sisters. And we have also taken one innovative thing. The libraries, as you know, it will be in different places. So there are many villages, there are no libraries. So when the children go home in the annual April-May vacation, we thought that we should throw open the library. If they want to run mini vacation libraries, the library, the central library should support. So in the Wakro circle, which is a taluk, Wakro taluk, there are more than 10 villages where the student volunteers, when they go from home in vacation, run mini libraries. This is one such thing. Manuliang, this is Namgo, where one elder brother or sister, say studying in class 7, 8, 9, conducts sessions for children, all on their own. The readers come on their own, that the volunteer goes on their own. So this is the best way we can spread the joy of reading among the community, and it makes sense. And another fundamental concept we have discovered is that since English is a medium of instruction, and our children, rural children, tribal community, they are not exposed to English, the book and the reader has to be connected by a link, and that is provided by the guests and mentors. So this adult time, what we have defined, an hour of adult time provided to the children in an informal setting is far better. It contributes far better than what it can be done 1 hour contributed in a classroom. Because the acceptance is there, the reception is there, then the freedom to interact freely is there. These are all things. We have a theater expert from Umesh from Bangalore, administrator coming in. There's an eminent butterfly scientist, Sanjay Sondi from Dehradun, the teacher educator, the IAS officer, Madam Ayushi Sudan, who is now in Kashmir. She is conducting a session. Then another forest scientist, Dr. Haridasan. These are all people. Whenever we get an opportunity, invite people, please come to our libraries, talk to our readers. So this has contributed, very substantially. Our IIT Gandhinagar faculty, Madam Ambika Ayadure, has been coming to our libraries very frequently whenever she comes to Arunachal. And she has been able to that way connect much more informally, to the young people than what they would have learned in a wildlife science book. So how do we keep up the tempo? It's very simple. We can convert every celebration, every occasion to as a media, as a day to promote reading habit. Birthdays, it can be celebrated by reading a fun story, or any way we encourage the people. Instead of spending money and time on big parties, try to connect the books so that children benefit. And we have got very good response from the children as well as the volunteers whenever they do the program. So we have been also using Independence Day and Republic Day to conduct small programs in the district administration's program. So we get much wider connection with the communities. And to sum up what we learn, what is the what we can learn from the whole effort of our last 16 years of close working with the community in promoting reading habit, in the community level, now there's an awareness that only by hand holding we can make a change. It's not that we have been able to transform everybody, but at least an awareness that yes, we should support effort and we can do things. At least in some level, it is coming up. This idea has been brought forth very well. Similarly, the decentralized responsibility creates participation from the community, from the volunteers, from the teachers, parents, everyone. It is everybody's affair, not one person or one agency, not governments. And as I said about the thing, the peer group learning and adult time I already touched upon, vacation mini library. At the individual level, what we will see that the children are able to get lot of confidence in doing activities. They are coming forward, unlike in the classroom where they hesitate to answer or participate. Here in the library, they are on their own. So I think that directly improves their language skills, their ability to explain things, their personality traits are thing, self-confidence, motivation is thing. And they also feel that we have got because somebody helped us. We should also take it back to our own village and do something for our own people. So it is their thing. So if that is how we have now more than 20-25 volunteers who they are studying in college. Some of them have started working. Some are in schools, but all of them spare some time to promote. I'm sure that in this meeting also some of them will be attending this today's person. Here is a bit of what one of our senior most volunteers speaks on her experiences.
As I was a volunteer of this Lohit Youth Library Network with Uncle Mosa, I have been working with him for more than 13 years since from my 6th standard. I have completed a master in this year. So we used to do environment activities. मतलब awareness देते रहता था छोटा.
So this she was talking in a Green Hub festival in Tezpur. So these are shared by many of our volunteers, how they have felt themselves transformed. And I must say also very gratefully, we have been also rewarded very well, honored on many plans already. Dr. Kumbarji has said the awards which have come are not at all a personal awards. It is a collective effort of so many people together has brought these awards. But someone has to receive it, so it's only in one person's name. But actually, it's an award of the entire reading movement. It's an honor to the spirit of reading, which Arunachal's young people have taken up. We have been also very privileged to present programs in front of Dr. Abdul Kalam in 2010, and our volunteers have been able to do in recent years many other programs now that they are very competent. This is in the Arunachal Literary Festival. They performed before several scholars from, several writers from different parts of the country in just November 2022. And some of our students have also been taking up unconventional studies. Like these two girls have started learning Carnatic music. And one of their programs aired in, they are studying in Chennai Kalakshetra, and it was aired in the Doordarshan, and our Honorable Prime Minister was so pleased. He has conveyed his congratulations. It's such an honor to two girls, first generation girls from a remote village of India. And one of our senior most volunteer, she got in her postgraduate studies, she got her gold medal, and this is her receiving the gold medal from our Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan just in January 23. So we have been, I would definitely say, we have been fully honored and rewarded for the effort what we have been doing. We convey our spirit, what we would like to share with everyone through this small video clip which we have received from our Dibang Youth Library, Rowing. we are very, very grateful to all the persons and all the AGO organizations, the government, and the various agencies like the Border Roads organization who have been supporting us to conduct these activities. And of course, obviously, the teachers, the parents, the volunteers, all of them are part of this. Every day we remember them, because but for their support, all this would not have been possible. And the press and the TV have been also equally, radio have been equally generous. And I would say that the entire credit should go to the youth of Arunachal, because they have discovered the joy of reading and they have upheld it. And I am especially grateful to Dr. Kumbharji and the IIT Gandhinagar Library for hosting this thing, and ADINET for supporting this program. This presentation has been made possible thanks to two people's support, Shri Yug Pandya, a scholar, IIT scholar, and Sabarmati Bhattacharya, a member of the library. Thank you so much, everyone. Here are a few reference links.
So thank you, sir. This is a very fascinating journey, and you literally took us to Arunachal Pradesh and showed us what wonderful work that you are doing, and it is really delightful. I mean, it's a highly motivating for all of us to know that you have been doing such an impactful work, and there is a lot to learn from what you have been doing, and that's the reason why we thought we should have this session for our colleagues across the country. So hope this will motivate us sufficiently to join our hands whenever, wherever possible, to promote the reading. And with that, now I think we will invite the questions from the attendees. And Sabarmati, are you there to take on these questions? Please read these questions and request to respond to. We'll spend some time.
Dr. Kumbar, may I just say, it was such a fascinating and wonderful journey which Sir took us to. And would it be okay if we put your this presentation on our website?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. We all will be, the library network will be very, very honored by such
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
I'd like to second that. It was indeed very inspiring.
Yeah, this is Nishta from, she heads the library and one of the prestigious research institute, physical research.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it was indeed it is very inspiring. And we'll try to do this hand-holding thing. We are also trying to do it at our level here, but we will take it further. And it has been very inspiring. Thank you so much for this. And thank you, Dr. Kumbar, for arranging this.
Well, it's my colleagues. They're all very supportive in organizing such events. Yeah, well, Sabarmati, I think you can read out the questions. Okay, so maybe I'll just read that out. So are you able to see the questions there?
I have to go very close.
Okay. So this is a question from Jayanta. And what he's saying is that, respected sir, vanakkam. So he's greeting you in Tamil. Can books get back its valuable position in this age of computers and mobile phones? Though reading books makes life enjoyable, but don't you think there is a tough competition between printed books and online material? Please throw some light on it. So yeah, he is from he works with Vivekananda Kendriya Vidyalaya, Dhemaji in Assam.
Okay.
Yeah, over to you, sir.
Sir, you have already proved that by running such a beautiful library, IIT Gandhinagar, all other institutions, that books cannot be replaced by whatever be the technology. That is one aspect. But the other aspect is this in technology or internet, the benefits are not uniformly distributed across the country. There are many hardships. Electricity is a power supply is a major thing. Then other accessible is another thing. And many local issues are far more complex than what any government can perceive. So as of now, maybe 5 years, I don't think, at least in large parts of the country where the reading deprivation is very, very acute, they are not going to be much trouble. For them, only solace and only refuge is the printed books. And we have to make all effort to see that printed books are made available to the people, young people, or the reading, those who are reading deprived. And there is no doubt about it.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's one more question. This is from Saurav Devnath. He works with IIT Gandhinagar. Sir, how do you recruit volunteers and train the consecutive volunteers like relay process for new recruits?
Yeah, as the very term volunteer says, no one can recruit a volunteer. Volunteer himself or herself comes forward. A person who is inspired by some level comes forward, and then under his or her conditions, volunteers' conditions are that I will give this way in this, then this many hours, this much time. So a movement, a hand-holding movement should be able to understand this and see that whatever each person can contribute, we should make use of it. There cannot be a way of, it's not an agency, it's not one organization, and nor am I a person controlling. The library movement goes by itself, moves by itself, works by itself. So we are all just members of a chain of people holding hands together. So that is the only way, though it may be slow, it will be making a very deep impact on in the minds of the beneficiaries.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please.
So what was the procedure when you mentioned this one nation reads together? What are you doing in that?
No, that was a scheme by Scholastic. They wanted us to conduct on a particular day, as many schools, as many groups, as many libraries, they wanted to get things. So we were told that you can do any activity connected with a book. So when the opportunity came, we did a program. That is just to show that an innovative program can create interest in the system.
Means a particular title is selected and then everybody reads it, nothing like that?
No, no, no.
Okay,
it is left to the school or the library or the volunteers to do something on that particular day. Let's all do some reading activity. Pratham was also doing that, but this is so flexible. It has to be flexible so that what you can do locally, you do yourself. But awareness is created that today we all must read. Everybody, elders, youngsters, everybody. That is all one nation reading together. That was their program rather than thing. We are just joining hands with it.
Thank you, sir. There's another question. This is from Sidhu Huded. I think he works with Azim Premji Educational Trust or educational activities or university, whatever little that I know. And what he's saying is, thanks for the wonderful session. Could there be any such similar library moments in other states of Northeast India?
Again, the same concept or thing is the voluntary movement. So this is a small area, small model. We are setting it up and we are trying to do it. It can be replicated by anybody as per their local conditions. Fortunately, in Arunachal itself, some parts of Arunachal, there have been youth groups coming forward to set up libraries. In Western Arunachal, they have some. In the near capital, Itanagar, some groups have started. So this can be replicated, but I am not aware of any major youth library movement in other parts of Northeast because they have not been in touch with me. If I come to know, then of course I'll be able to tell. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone wants to ask any questions, please feel free, raise your hands, and yeah, please go ahead. We can spend another 5-10 minutes.
Ask Pityam and all. Are they on the line? Ask them. Speak.
We now in ADINET, Dr. Kumar, should get together and see what we can do with the help of hand-holding and reaching out to the municipal schools, to the slum areas,
Yes, ma'am.
because they are deprived of not only, they're deprived of reading and they're deprived of the technology also.
Yes.
So this has given us a lot of food for thought. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think there are quite many appreciations for this session, and many of the colleagues who are attending this session, they are all saying wonderful session, very informative.
Thank you so
session.
much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I think if there are no more questions, and yeah, well, I think close the session by profusely thanking Sir for sparing his time and enriching us by sharing his wonderful and fascinating work that he has been doing in Northeast and particularly Arunachal Pradesh. So this is a great eye-opening opener for all of us who are working in the libraries, how we all can contribute and lend our helping hand whenever and in whichever way we can support. And also this is a excellent model for all of us to work in our own areas,
Yes.
and I think that's more, and there is a lot of scope for all of us to, get involved with such activities. It's much easier to work in an institution like IITs within the four wall, whatever experiments that we do, that this is a fine, but I think reaching unreached and supporting them and bringing them on par with the rest of the world is much more important. So, sir, there are no words. I mean,
thank you so much, everybody.
Doing such a wonderful work, and we are indeed grateful to you.
Can I ask something?
Yeah,
Dr.
please.
Please.
How long he's going to be there now in IIT Gandhinagar, or he's leaving?
Seventh morning he is leaving.
Seventh
morning he is leaving.
Okay. We will be in touch.
Yeah,
please.
So we had two wonderful sessions for our campus kids, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering to arrange.
And I take this opportunity to thank Madam Bharucha for readily agreeing to join hands and lend the ADINET platform for us, all of us, to come together and facilitate this, listen to fascinating journey. And I also profusely thank all the colleagues who have joined, and many of them from some of the IITs, IISERs, and other universities have taken out their time and joined us. And I really thank you so much for showing such a great interest in listening to Sir. And I think, he'll be happy to have a similar kind of sessions whenever you want to have, and, take out this message, help him to reach, this message to the people who really matter and who can help in expanding this kind of activities. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you once again for being with us and readily agreeing to share your rich experience. Thank you.
Thank you
all. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam, you can stay back, and Mr. you can also stay back for a while.
Okay. Okay.
It's a collective work, sir. So we have to keep on
I
challenges.
know.
Exactly.
I mean,
we have to do.
You need a leader, isn't it? You need a leader. Somebody has to lead. Somebody has to show the way.
Yes, that is so important.
Yes. We all have to work in our own areas, be leaders ourselves.
But one thing I just wanted to mention, if I can I interrupt?
Yes, please, ma'am.
So this reading habit, it is not just worrisome about the fact that English reading is not happening. The question is reading in mother language is also not happening, because it is being taken away by the screen time of either mobile or TV. So the challenge lies not only in getting them to read something in their mother tongue, but also I mean, in English, but
English.
now also in
Yes,
mother
ma'am.
tongue.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So
I
that is a
mentioned
very,
because
very big challenge.
correct, correct. I mentioned because we are forced to use only English and Hindi.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I said
Yeah,
if we would
yeah.
have now we
See,
have been
that- yeah.
canvassing for the state government to start
Yeah,
using
yeah.
mother tongue in the class 1 primary
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Let's hope they will do.
English is important, of course, because as they grow older, they have to face the interviews. They have to clear those things. Then only they'll be able to prove what they can do.
Yeah.
So English is, of course, very important. But basic reading, they are not.
Skills.
They're losing interest in reading storybooks. That is what is very, very worrisome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Last year, we had started a book club to inculcate reading habits and to improve the English proficiency, because in Gujarat, it is so important. But only those who were good at reading and were reading were joining the book
They're
club.
joining us, yeah.
And that was a sad thing. But then now we are thinking of inviting the author of a book and interacting with him or her, and to tell us about the book and thereby inculcate reading, interest in the reading that book, etc.
Yes, yes.
That is something now we are thinking of doing.
Really.
Okay.
These activities are so important.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
But it's good that you have roped in some of these publishers to come to that area and exhibit their books.
Yes.
So and all these publishers' names that I read out, they bring out a lot of interesting books. And scholastics I have seen. I think they're very, very well designed books.
Very.
Yeah.
And same with
most of the schools patronize them.
Yeah. In fact, many of them, except the government agencies, very often they cannot come. So what they do, they send the books in advance to us on credit. We do the exhibition and return the books which are unsold. So that much trust they have got. That's a very, I consider a great honor for us. They have no hesitation in sending. Tulika sends, Scholastic sends, then Terry sends, and Eklavya sends. So it is in one way, it's an encouragement from the publisher. Even if they cannot reach out, they have taken us as their handholders, partners in the whole movement.
Has been built up.
Yes.
I think, sir, in Ahmedabad, we have a community science center.
Yes.
Which is partially supported by DST, I think. That's one. And also CW.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a good number of books talking about the entire, ecosystem, environment, and forest. So all of these, I think, they will also be a good collection.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, madam.
Yes.
So, can we close?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Barucha, we are very honored by your presence in the program today.
We just thought that let the message go out to all our colleagues in this profession.
Very, very inspiring.
Such a wonderful work is being done. And,
precisely.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
Okay, good day.